So guys, in this video we will take a look at a specific situation that a customer is in. Let me go back to the start here and edit here a little bit. This customer has a roof with an east-west configuration, and his roof is 35 degrees and he is east and west. So we start with analyzing east, then we continue with west, and then we're going to compare with everything south. So the purpose of this video is to show you the annual production for his roof, which is east-west, and compare that to the annual production of a hypothetical all south, so that he can compare and see. And at the end I will just mention some other factors that you should consider, because it's not all about the annual production. There are also a few other factors involved. Okay, we'll start with this to analyze 4 kilowatt to the east, 5,000 kilowatt hours per year. That's only this number we're interested in right now. And then we go back and we put this on 270, which is west. So obviously 4 kilowatt east and 4 kilowatt west is equal to 8 kilowatt total. So that's what we're going to compare with. But in the software it's not possible to put in the east-west configuration, so we have to analyze them separately. But obviously that doesn't matter. 4,864 kilowatt hours per year. So that's fine. I have everything written down, so we'll take a look at that after. And then we'll go to 8. And then, because there are no mono roofs that are 35 degrees, at least I've not seen it. So we're going to choose, I think we'll choose 20. Because that's a normal tilt on mono roofs that are facing south. Well, any mono roof. It's very rare that you find 35 degrees mono roofs. I've never seen it, so I think we have to put it at much lower. So we are going to compare with a much flatter south-facing roof. That's obviously going to help the south production, but I think we have to do that because there's no other way to make it meaningful. Okay, 11,176, that's the total kilowatt hour production of a south-facing roof with 20 degrees tilt on the roof. So then we can take these numbers and take a look at the overview here. So we have 35 degrees east-west, 4 panels facing east, first 5,000, and then 4 kilowatt hour panels facing west, 4,864, total almost 10,000. And then we have the south facing, little bit more than 11,000 kilowatt hours total. So the point of this is that obviously that is a little bit more than 10% more production south. Now, does that mean that you should always choose this if you can? No, not necessarily, because there are other differences that makes this a lot more interesting than what it looks like. First, I'll take the most important difference first, and that is that in this configuration, the curve of production is much flatter than this configuration. So if you imagine a bell curve with the early morning, that production in the early morning on this system will be much higher. So you will have more production in the morning, not so high in the middle as this one, so it will be flatter, but more here and more here in the morning and afternoon. While this one, we have to imagine a little bit here now, that this is the morning, this is the afternoon. So the x-axis is the total production. So this would be steeper. Time is obviously the y-axis. So it would be a lot steeper. It will go higher, that is true. But it will come down steeper too. So that's okay if you have a lot of batteries or you are exporting. Then you can safely choose this option every time. However, if you have a lot of direct use from the panels that many people have, especially on on-grid systems, obviously without batteries, you will have this kind of setup is actually quite helpful because it flattens out the curve, gives you more in the morning when you're likely to use electricity, and more in the late afternoon when you're also likely to use electricity. Many people don't use that much in the middle of the day, and especially they are not able to use all the electricity when it's at the maximum if it's set up like this. Okay, so this is interesting because of many things, but first of all, because I think the general lesson is that it's less of a difference between all this configuration that we normally think. I think that's lesson number one. So when you're coming into solar, you think that everything has to be south, everything has to be 15 degrees, perfect configuration, that if not, it will not be useful. That's not the case at all. As you can see from this, these configurations are very different from each other. And there's still a little bit more than 10, only a little bit more than 10% difference. But pretty extreme differences in the way they are set up. So that just shows you that even if you have a little bit unusual roof or steep roof, you're still gonna have very, very nice benefit from solar. So I think that's the main lesson. Now, of course, you can get into a lot of details with situations where this is the best, no matter how you look at it. And in other situations where this is the best, absolutely. So that's lesson number two. We always have to look at the specific situation of the customer. And then my job is to consult and help the customer to see what the different configurations can do, so that we can get away from this one size fits all recipe. It's more about tailoring to and taking everything into account. Like, for example, if a customer already has a roof, obviously then we have to take that into consideration, that the cost of making a new roof, yeah, it might be more optimal if we make a new roof, but is it really gonna compensate for everything? Probably not. And I have other videos showing that. So for those that are interested in a little bit different situations and more details, take a look at other similar videos where I've compared other configurations. Okay, guys, take it easy.